Again, I'm Jay Wardle. I'm the president and general manager of Sojern, and I'm very, very, very pleased to kick off the day before it really starts raining down the Utes with Sabrina Callahan, the newly appointed, anointed Chief Marketing and Digital Officer of Southwest. The first ever combination of these two disciplines in maybe the history of aviation and certainly in Southwest. Is that a fairly accurate statement?
That is correct.
Okay. So see, Sabrina and I chatted a little bit before this, and I was like, this is really fantastic. I love seeing beloved brands lean into innovation, lean into transformation, and really put people in place who can land the dream. I'm going to use tons of aviation puns throughout our time today. I hope that's okay. But
I feel like you have like a 3 max. So that was number 1.
No, there's no max.
Okay. How much time
So you've worked at incredible brands. You worked at AT&T, you worked at Walmart, you worked at Hilton, I believe, as well. So you've seen a lot of transformation, and you've probably seen some stunted transformation as well. Aspirations of transformation, but not the actual realization of transformation. So coming in, are you from Texas originally?
I'm actually from a very small farm in Kansas.
Oh, that's right, because you're a Rocket Chalk Jayhawk, correct? Yeah, that's
But I've been
right.
in Dallas for over 15 years.
Okay.
So
you were
say y'all-
surrounded by iconic
Yes.
Texas brands.
Yes.
Coming into Southwest, what was different in your perception pre-arrival to not even in 5 minutes here, until you're now feet under the desk? So like, what's different from the outside in your perception coming into the reality once you are under the desk?
Well, I've officially been here for 4 months. So just jumping right in. I've been in marketing or digital, so e-com, P&L side, or the marketing, advertising, media side for my career, and had the opportunity to do it in startup, and then Hilton, and then Walmart, and then AT&T, which has all been great. And luckily, I got to stay in Dallas for all of this. So they were pretty amazing. I was flying in out of McLean for Hilton, flying in out of Bentonville for Walmart, and then AT&T is based in Dallas. But what's been great about that is there's tons of corporations in Dallas, and everyone in Dallas knows Southwest Airlines. The reputation is amazing in terms of the culture, the people, the company, and also if you've been in brand or marketing or anything in that space, you know Southwest Airlines. They write books about it. They talk about the culture. They talk about it being employee first and how that really transpires to the customers. So I had really high expectations based on what I'd known about Southwest, but then also as a Dallas resident now. And what I would say is coming in, I was nervous because you had set it on a pedestal for so long. And if nothing else, they've exceeded expectations. I think on their worst day with culture, they're better than a lot of companies' best days. So I think they've done a really good job. They've been through a lot of change. So I was also nervous coming in after a lot of the transformation that they've done, that they potentially lost some of what made them special. But in fact, I think it's rallied them even closer to push through. And the teams have been absolutely amazing and warm and welcoming. And with this new role, they've never even had a vice president of digital. So let alone a chief digital officer. And they haven't had a CMO in quite a few years. So I was interested of, are they going to understand? Are they going to welcome this role? Are they going to resist it? And they have completely embraced it. And they've embraced all of my insane ideas at the same time. So it's been fun.
So it is a beloved brand, and you talk about keeping the hearts and minds of the employees and the team, but the customers are going through a lot of change as well. I mean, you've introduced things, you're starting to introduce things that are more common amongst the aviation space and the airline space, things like assigned seating, things like premium, things like, baggage fees and that sort of thing. So what has that been like, right? Because that is so true to the authenticity and the spirit of the brand over time. Change is hard for stuff to maintain unless you do it right and you pull it off. So what's that?
Are y'all familiar with the Southwest Airlines brand? Pretty much? Okay. Yeah, snaps. Like it. Well, then, like a lot of times it was associated with democratizing the skies and bags fly free and really getting price as a way in. And so I always think of it as price got them in the door, but what actually made them fall in love with us was the way we treated them and the experience that we created for them. And so, yes, we're known for low prices. Yes, we're known for our operations. Yeah. But in reality, 80% of customers and non-customers were asking for assigned seating. Yeah. So a lot of these changes were a long time coming. And what I would say is the way that we've kind of thought through coming out of this transformation is these things needed to happen. They were the right moves. We're seeing it in the returns from Q4, Q1, the numbers are showing. But what we have to think about as protectors of marketing and protectors of the brand and the customer is how do you lean on what made us special in the first place? What made them fall in love with us? They didn't fall in love with us because of the price. It was definitely a differentiator for them to come in, but they fell in love with us because of the culture that we had created. And a lot of that starts on the front line with our flight attendants and the spirit that they bring into every interaction. They just completely have autonomy to be who they are and bring their full selves to work. And we ultimately really encourage that of, yes, we have policies, yes, we've got these things, but we want you to go off script. We want you to have fun. We want you to be yourself. We want you to bring your personality because that's what makes us different. Candidly, I think a lot of airlines are pretty awful at this. I've done a lot of flying in my career, and it really becomes a transaction. And I think that's what makes Southwest different is you still have the transaction element because you have to, but they take it above the transaction and create that relationship. And hopefully if you followed Southwest, you know what I'm talking about. You see it on almost every other flight is this unique experience that you wouldn't find on any other airline.
So building off that, so one, I love the word authenticity. As the first time it can, you're going to hear the term authenticity in so many inauthentic ways. It is like the word du jour, right? And I think that brands like Southwest actually stand for that. I think that that's why it's beloved. There's very few beloved brands that would see as authentic and truly who they are. Now, you love transformation. You've put yourself in some pretty heated transformational environments. How do you hold on to that authenticity and the Southwest being known for surprise and delight while embracing the science of marketing and taking on a more digitally native, digital first mentality? Because sometimes those things are seen at odds.
Yeah. As I came in, I had a lot to learn. I've never been in the airline industry. But also I did so much research and learning just on the Southwest brand, kind of stealing a term from my friend George Felix, getting into the attic and understanding where's their credibility, what made people fall in love with them. And I think what we really dug into is the world of quote unquote hospitality as it comes to airlines and what makes Southwest different. And I think when I peel apart the Southwest hospitality, and I've done it on so many whiteboards, everyone loves it, but I'm like, hang on, what do we mean by hospitality? And I think we've kind of pushed it into 4 areas. On one side, there is the hospitality of when something goes wrong, right? And we are known for, you can get to an agent to help you quicker than any other airline. And we do love vouchers and we really take care of our customers and we really want to make sure that they're taken care of. So we do really well on that side, on when something goes wrong side. On the other side is almost where you get into the world of entertainment, of hospitality. And we also are the best at that. And we have more fun on our airplanes and do things outside of the box than any other airline. And then I work my way down, and surprise and delight is probably 30% of the way in which we are delivering hospitality. And that has to come from the bottoms up, right? Like I cannot tell them how to do surprise and delight. I can't tell them how to be themselves. We have so many people grabbing mics and doing singing and stand up and all of these things that just happen naturally. You can't dictate that. Where we do need to get into the science is outside of those three areas, what's the rest of hospitality look like as a consistent way to deliver and to commit as a brand promise and a customer promise on what made us unique and keeps us as a differentiator? And that's where the science comes in. So it really comes into, okay, well, how are we doing it? And how do we create almost a little bit of a standardization so that we can make sure that our 70,000 employees, and a lot of those on the front line, know how to deliver that in a consistent way so that I can go talk about it. And I can talk about it with customers so I can get them to come back. And I can go talk about it with prospects who, for whatever reason, have not considered or tried Southwest before and say, like, you're gonna get this experience every time you fly with Southwest. And it becomes a bit of something you can pull through, and then they get to experience the greatness of the surprise and delight and the entertainment. And then worst case, if something goes wrong, they know we're going to take care of them. So a lot of it comes through with the authenticity pieces on the outskirts of it to give them the permission to solve the problem in real time. That's also very unique to Southwest. A lot of times it's like, well, let me check with my manager, and then my manager's manager, my manager's manager's manager. And instead we empower them to solve the problem in real time and break a rule if you have to. Just make sure you solve it. But back to the science of marketing, we've had to really dig into the data and the customer data. So that was one of the first things I started poking on coming in is, who is our customer? What do they love about Southwest? What does the bigger addressable market in the US look like? And who are they flying and why? And then take what you're really good at and figure out a way to message it in a way through data personalization to hit those target audiences to either bring them back or bring them in.
Welcome to Cannes. There's an arrest on the Croisette while you're in mid-panel fireside chat. If there was an actual fire here, this would be and probably not as enjoyable. But so you use the term, I'm kind of going off some of our pre-planning here, but you use the term surprise and delight.
Yeah.
So if everybody can look to our left and your right at that surfboard, that's roughly the shape of an airplane. It's heavily regulated, and it's hurtling through the sky at 30,000 feet at 500 miles an hour. So how do you surprise and delight within the constraints of a heavily regulated industry with the appropriate safety, et cetera, consumer protections in a metal tube hurtling through the air?
Yeah. Well, outside of our flight attendants and pilots all having fun and engaging with the customers, and then also each seat has a story.
Yep.
So them coming in and learning about what is it that's special to you, and really amplifying that with the rest of the passengers on the plane is something we're really good at. But then back to the entertainment side of hospitality and back to them embracing the crazy ideas. A lot of this stuff is not necessarily brand new to Southwest. They do something called Live at 35, which is live music at 35,000 feet. And we just celebrated 15 years of that. It kind of went away for a while. And so I called up some friends and I was like, why did it go away? Why are we not doing these fun things? We did.
Did you bring it back? Was this in the last 4.5 months?
It was in the last 2-3 weeks, right?
So this is like every Harvard Business Review article on planet Earth says, like, put points on the board in your first 90 days.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was it.
Okay, you were close.
We did it.
2-3
like,
weeks
what was
ago
it? Yeah, I think it
almost
counts.
95 days.
I think it counts.
Okay.
So we got John Lovitz to get on a plane. Do you guys know who John Lovitz is?
Of course.
One of the old
Someone
school.
Here doesn't know who John Lovitz is. Please get up and
leave. Just kindly exit. So he got on a plane. It was our first ever comedian live at 35. Yeah. And I was like, please no recording. I just never know. But he did a 15-minute closed set to the passengers on a plane. And then he came into the office and wrote me a commercial script. I was like, oh, good. Thank you. He was like, I get paid millions of dollars for this, right? And I was like, who's paying you millions of dollars for this? But then we also did a more formal version of it where we took the plain white tees, and they were one of the first bands to ever do Live at 35 with us 15 years ago. and before they were really that popular. And so they have blown up on TikTok again. Like the new generations are like, oh my God, if you're going to play white tees, and you're like, yes, thank you. But we brought them onto a plane and they did 2 or 3 songs, I think. And you have all the whole plane singing along to something that they know and love. And the plan is to keep that going. So I'm only going to double, if not triple down on the world of entertainment in the sky. And there is no one better positioned to do that than us. And I will also say this company was founded by a maverick, right? Somebody who breaks rules, thinks differently, pushes boundaries. I refuse to do it just because that's what the rest of the airline industry does. And it's created a bit of a permission internally to think that way and break the rules. And so naturally fits my character. But then all I have to do is call up like our chief captain of pilots, my peer, Steve Crystal. And I'm like, hey, I have this insane idea. And he's like, hang on, let me make some calls. And he's like, yes, check. And I'm like, oh, that was easier than I thought it would be. And then our head of tech operations, who's mechanical of all the planes. And they're like, yeah, we're going to do this stuff. And like, they're excited to have fun and break rules again. And I think that the company has been craving, after a lot of this transformation, the ability to bring the fun, bring the maverick spirit back. And so every time I'm like something crazy, they're like, yes, we want to hear it, which has been really fun.
Okay. All right. Everybody hold your breath. The AI question is here. But I'm going to go the other way on AI. And I love AI, big AI guy, JI. But AI has a way of flattening language and normalizing and removing edge or character authenticity from its queries or its outputs. Southwest is known for that authenticity. It's a little bit cheeky, it can be playful. So how do you think about the use of AI in simplifying rote things, but not letting it interfere with really the authenticity and all of these wonderful things that you talk about? Because I'm not sure that AI would say, hey, get John Lovitz and let him do a 15-minute closed set, hurtling through here. It just wouldn't really recommend that. So like language is a strategic partner, really important from AI, but authenticity is more plain spoken and more natural. So how do you think about that tension of the use of AI relative to the authenticity in the heart of this brand?
Yeah, I would say this is where it's valuable for both sides of my role.
Yeah.
Right. So I think when you use AI, you need to create rules around when you're using it and when you're not using it. And I think where AI can be really helpful is when it's speeding up the removal of friction. Yeah. So when I think about, so many things change during any given day with flying, right? And as soon as you walk out of your home, if you're flying, you've got some type of an underlying anxiety, right? Of, is something going to change? Is my gate going to change? Is my flight going to be delayed? Did I miss the gate? Did they do something that I don't know what's going on? Did something cancel? Is my bag going to make it? Like every single piece of that becomes stressful, and you can't have a human at every single piece of that. Right. So it's understanding where to insert the use of AI to better connect the data of what's happening in real time to the customer and allow them to see things more often in digital, to then allow them the stress relief and then pull in the authenticity of the people interactions. So think about it. When you're getting there, if you're checking in, you're going to talk to somebody. If you are walking over to the gate, you've got the customer service agent. As you're getting on, you've got the ramp agent. Then you have the flight attendants. We really care a lot about winning that first impression. And ultimately, the goal is to make memories for them and allow the journey to be as memorable as that destination, if you will. And I think a lot of that requires that face-to-face that we cannot and will not lose. And the AI really becomes the surrounding pieces to say, hey, where you are willing to have the tech and you're willing to give us the data, we're going to do everything we can to drive really clear communications for you so that we can remove as much of the anxiety of travel.
It's interesting. I've met with a lot of airlines over time. I've never really heard the word hospitality used the way that you have, heard the term memories, because most people's memories of airlines and airports are probably somewhat on the other side of this. But Southwest is a brand that most brands would kill for. I mean, whether like you fly it regularly or you're cheering it on from another terminal, maybe that's 3. I'm not sure.
Good.
It's pretty good,
That's
though,
good.
right? That's pretty good.
That's
Yeah,
good.
it's not bad. So I think everybody here wants you to win. I think the reason that the Chief Captain Officer Sullivan calls you is because you have an infectious energy and positivity. I think that's needed to lead people through change. So and coming out of Cannes, this is just nonstop days of engagement and interest. Very little of what we say will be remembered, but we want to be memorable. We want people to be like, maybe I'll follow her on LinkedIn. Maybe I'll see, check out what's going on X. If people start following you in the Southwest brand over the next, 30, 60, 90 days, what might they see? You're not going to share anything proprietary, but what are some of the changes that they might start to see as a result of your fingerprinting or your input into this brand and how it shows up in the market?
Yep.
That one wasn't on the list, sorry.
No, I'm fine with it. I think that if you go to my LinkedIn now, you're going to heavily see a focus in on employees and culture. I think what always made Southwest special is that it starts with the employees before it goes to the customers. And given the importance of that face-to-face interaction and the importance of the surprise and delight, the reality is if the frontline doesn't feel it, then it doesn't matter. It's not going to be delivered. And so you're spending all of these marketing dollars to get everybody in. But the reality is marketing can only work so hard for you if the operations are failing. So I really need to have it come inside out.
Yeah.
There was some work that was on the table when I actually came in February. And I just asked them to pause everything because I said, look, we just came off of a lot of change. Can someone give me a temperature check on the employees who have to go deliver on this campaign? And I think everyone was kind enough to say, yes, we'll pause. And then I've really been taking the time to say, what is our employee engagement NPS? How are they feeling, right? And we've worked them really hard. And so I think that's okay to recognize it, help with the change management, and then open up the permission to say, we are still who we are. Don't forget that. Don't forget who you work for and how much we care about you and how important it is for you to be fulfilled. So we've done a lot of work with our internal communications and PR team also to say, like, how do we make sure that they feel good, that they feel rewarded in working with HR? And so that we can then say confidently, it's time to spend some money because we know when we push those people in to fly that they're going to be really happy. And especially if I'm going after new prospects and new flyers, I need to make sure that when they come to Southwest, that they're getting the Southwest experience that they've always heard of.
Yep.
So you'll see a lot of that, employee first, employee led. You'll see a lot of employees as the face of a lot of our campaigns because back to the authenticity, that's actually them doing those things. So it's important for them to have a face and it kind of lifts up their spirit when they see each other. Like, oh my God, you see me? Yeah. They get very excited. The other thing is we're going to lean it a lot more into entertainment and culture. Yep. I think that our marketing needs a little bit of a shakeup. And so really thinking live at 35, I'm like, oh my God, we already do that. Like, just bring it back. That's super fun. It wasn't a brand new thing, but it was a different leader coming in and saying, why did we lose that? Triple down, keep going and having fun. There's quite a few other things like that in the works.
Okay.
In terms of culture defining, changing, entertaining. I really want to double down on bringing entertainment to the sky.
So I think in closing that if you can pull this off, I think we may be seeing something truly transformational on stage at Cannes, which is the convergence of the science of data and the heart of marketing under one leader with your energy, your spirit, Southwest of the moon. I think who here doesn't want to check out Southwest, see if Southwest could be like, let's check it out, right? I think everybody does because I think you just have an infectious energy. I can see why people rally around you internally, and it's really, really important, having taken a lot of places that I've been at through a lot of really difficult change, people who can just help people see the other side of what's being built to, and then show and point and holler about the bricks that are being laid every day. Those are the places that really pull this off. And I truly, in my heart of hearts, really hope that I see that landed.
Thank you. I know. And I've got the Southwest team here. I've got our agency, GSD&M here. Like everyone's leaning in. Like we're all very committed because we love this brand.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of responsibility. But I think we're all taking it very seriously on like what an amazing opportunity and time to be here. So Thank you.
So please, everybody join me in a round of applause for Sabrina. And
thank you.
Best wishes.